streaming it for a bit. Maybe for an hour or so. Director's commentary. Might do that. Like I said, I probably won't be talking a lot in this one. Just gonna pretty much let the story flow. Hello, Adam. Hi, Adam. I probably won't be talking a lot into this one, Adam.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Pinchbeck.
Oh no, that's what the okay, that's what the director's call means. Okay, fuck that. Nope. 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 Rightio. Like I said, I probably won't be talking in this one. I'm gonna mute yourself.
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Rightio, Adam. Rightio. I love this guy's voice though. So deep. So the flashlight comes on automatically. That's very nice. So I guess this was going to be a school of some sort, maybe? Fucking seagull. I will probably be literally checking everything to see what the small details are and stuff like that, so that's pretty much going to be half the screen. Okay, two paths. I can go up here or go down there where the shipwreck is. I still don't have any feet, that can't give me creeps. Sure, I'll have a look for you, enjoy the beautiful scenery while I have a look at it. Very, very beautiful. Beautiful game. Yes, yes indeed. You are not Adam. Oh wait, yeah you are. Yeah, you're streaming. Yeah, you're all good. Wait, was that... Oh god, can I go down here again? Okay, that... You don't die in a non-dying game.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
So I can't jump in this game, can I? Options, controls. So no, I can't jump. It's literally just a cave. Oh god. Oh, let me up, let me up. No. Oh god. Okay, that might hurt. guess this is gonna be a slow game. Some fishing, tackle, gear, cages, all that good stuff.
Those islands in the distance, I am sure, are nothing more than relics of another time, sleeping giants, somnambulist gods laid down for a final dreaming. I wash the sand from my lips and grip my wrist ever more tightly. My shaking arms will not support my fading diaries.
I love this guy's voice. Unless it's the shape of the island. Or a shipwreck. Is that a rock? No, it's a shipwreck. Yeah, it might be a rock.
Dear Esther, I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This aerial will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
So I can't actually... Okay, so I've just walked all over here for nothing. And every button zooms in and zooms out. Cool. So what am I supposed to do? That's something there. I don't know what that is though. There's only... You can either go down or you can go above. Gotta enjoy tea in the morning. Oh, Adam's left the body. Oh, this path. Hello, Adam. So yeah, all I needed to do was just go back up. I did not know that. I did not know there was a path there.
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
You're all good, Adam, yeah.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff. exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff path died along
You are
with
still
its
screaming.
hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
All the wind's picking up here.
I quote directly, a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most God-forsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
I don't know, I didn't even know where I'm going, dude. That's probably just not my way. Probably don't actually need to go anywhere, that probably just doesn't lead anywhere. My fun now, because it's supposed to be like 30 degrees now.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
This hermit, this seer, this distant historian of bones and old bread, where did he vanish to? Why,
This is where it
asked
turns
the
into like
farmers,
a,
why, asked Jacobson, why bother with your visions at all, if you're just to throw your arms up at the cliff and let it close in behind you and seal you into the belly of the island, a museum shut to all but the most devoted?
What's that meant to be? Ew. This is like a chemical creation. Okay, so if you're into the water, so essentially I just did like a for loop. Yeah, essentially just did a for loop. How far can I go into this water? That's clearly not the way I'm supposed to go. Right, this guy just doesn't float, he just sinks. Lighthouse. Crash boat. Jesus. You're good, Adam. You're back. Let's hope. So originally I came down there. Where am I supposed to go now? Oh yeah, just... Am I supposed... Oh yeah. Up. Okay, okay. I think I'm lost a little bit here. So I am going the right path because this barbed off. I think it came from down there.
I dreamt I stood in the centre of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside.
Did it pop up yet?
My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rode to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
You're a good Adam. This guy is a really deep person. So these are like zombie graveyards. So there's the way up there, way up there, and way down there. Let's try and go up there first. Might be able to get a story about that lighthouse. Oh, can I go up here actually? Can I climb this? Oh, up here. No, I can't climb it, okay, so... Oh, then up here, I guess. God, I wish I could sprint. What's that noise? Oh, it's wind. Gotta say, this game is really, really pretty. I mean, honestly, the grass moves. I just wish this guy could sprint, or at least jog. Ooh. My first loading screen. My first trophy. Donnell.
Dear
Donnelly.
Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay, so what's happening down here? Are these shipwrecks or are they fully alright? The sky. What water art? So I guess these are like the fish boats and stuff. What crashed? Oh no, this is a shipping container. Oh, burning on fire. So where's the people driving this, essentially? I wish I could jump. Just let me jump, old man. You have nothing to say about this, or you just being too much bore? there's another one. I think that's pretty much what that game is out of. Oh.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
So this is essentially just trying to find out what the hermit, where the hermit is, and what you're planning to do. I can't do anything else here. There's nothing said about the boat besides from the hole in the bottom. Can't interact with anything. There's nothing I can do.
I had kidney stones and you
Oh.
visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Okay, there's a path down here, so I can still carry on going through. How to get up. Ah, this game is... It takes a while to get around the mountain, the island. Is there a sprint button? No, there isn't. Just making sure
I've
again.
begun to wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean. Into oblivion.
I presume I can get up there at one point. I presume that's not the end game. I hope. Can't even read what's on that boat. I can't really see. I'm physically blind. How's my weekend going? How's my fucking weekend going? Be shite. It's been absolute shite. Mini. Do the what? Yes, yes. Look. Just friends. Just friends. Look, it's a slow progress, Adam. I can't even reply back to it just in case a partner fucking messaged me. Oh, what are you doing to talking to my girlfriend? Bitch. How's your weekend going? Shit. Can I climb? How do so what am I supposed to do now? Am I an idiot or something? Can I get up there? Or have a zoom? Did I miss like a path or something? So I can't get down that way. Maybe there's a path down here I missed? Okay, there's something up there, so I might be able to get back up here. Okay, you've got to give me something. You've got to give me something, like direction, a hint. Is that another path up there? Oh, fuck. Am I climbing up the wrong mountain? I think this guy would have like bring a map or something, wouldn't you? Oh, I'm just too stupid that you can jump and stuff. But there's a button where you can press to sprint. Just not smart enough to figure it out. Come on, old man. Climb the hill. There we go. You got this. Yeah. How's the touchpad going, Adam, anyway? Oh. Hey, found another path. Okay. Back on track. So hard to see what paths go to where and just really figure it out. Okay, so there's two paths, one leading upwards, one leading downwards. That one comes back up. Oh no, that's a dead end, that is. Oh wow, okay. But they all lead to the same place, just one differently than the other. Can I get down that way? A second, before I hit that, let's just check out this.
When I first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
Don't do it, you have so much to live for. Suicide jokes, so not funny. When a girl says it's the first time, ha! Show her the that picture.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center.
Radio.
It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
joys out of the ship with density. You can get away for a bit and give yourself space. Time to chill. Yeah, I would love to just chill. Want the best thing ever, but I can't.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Oh god, now this game's getting a bit deep. Game's getting a little bit deep for me. Another picture, don't know what that picture is. Same picture, I think. Okay.
Inventory. A trestle table we spread wallpaper on in our first home. A folding chair. I laughed at you for bringing camping in the lakes. I was uncomfortable later and you laughed then. This diary, the bed with the broken springs. Once asleep you have to remember not to dream. A change of clothes, Donnelly's book, stolen from Edinburgh Library on the way here. I will burn them all on the last morning and make an aerial of my own.
Okay, so I'll burn books, clothes. Bird again. Damn it, dude. Can I get up there? Probably. I'll pan it first. Slow going game, but you gotta enjoy the scenery. Oh, okay, so this is where I got lost. So it takes us back down there, so which means where does this path lead? Does it lead back down? I don't want to fall down, don't want to do all this again. There's a cave down there. Did I explore this cave? Wait, is this? Is this where I got lost, or is it a different part? I got lost over that side.
What to make of Donnelly, the laudanum and the syphilis? It is clearly not how he began, but I've been unable to discover if the former was a result of his visiting the island or the force that drove him here. For the syphilis, a drunk driver smashing his insides into a pulp as he stumbled these paths, I can only offer my empathy. We're all victims of our age. My disease is the internal combustion engine and the cheap fermentation of yeast.
Wow, that's some description. You have AIDS. Also not a funny joke. But hey.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
Oh god, that's deep. So this was about a ship, or at least was he trying to correct? Was he trying to make it, or was he trying to do stuff to it? Might have been trying to make one of them now.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Gonna go down here. Oh shit! Oh bollocks! Okay, I should have gone upwards. Jacobson. How are you finding it?
Crawl this far. Can I identify the scratches his nails ruined into the rocks? Am I following him, cell for cell, inch for inch? Why did he turn back on himself and not carry through to the ascent?
Oh, so this story is basically me just following him. So I have to do what the guy says. So the guy fell down here. Paid with some mushrooms, apparently. Beautiful cave. Get some mushrooms, some algae. Some stones. Oh, scratching. Oh, that'd be a great thumbnail. Path going upwards.
There is no other direction, no other exit from this motorway. Speeding past this junction, I saw you waiting at the roadside, a one last drink in your trembled hands.
Small markings. Are these markings or are they actually just... Is it just like mushrooms and stuff? Small markings. Let's move there. Is this where we need to go? I love this music as well. Oh wow. God, I saved that picture, sorry. God, how did you know that was going to be that deep? Stupid person. Gotta think this is gonna be slippery as well. that where I come out? Yeah. Sure, candles for lit, been lit for ages. Yeah, sure, that seems believable.
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
I believe I'm supposed to go up, so I have to go through up there that way, so I can go... I might be able to explore each way. Or maybe not. I don't think we can go any further than that, so... Okay, so that trek was... pointless. At least the water carries me a bit faster than that was. I'm not going to go all the way down. It's probably going to be nothing what triggers anything. So. I don't really know how big this game is. I might just do like 2 parts to it, like 1 hour each. Is he trying to find a cure for himself or something? How to be growing friends. Oh god, that's painful to the eyes. So what's up here? Can't go up there. These like crystals. Yeah, they look crystals.
This is a drowned man's face, reflected in the moonlit waters. It can only be a dead shepherd who has come to drunk drive you home.
Nothing down there. Go to the cave and then I'll stop the stream and then maybe start up again later tomorrow. So. Is that good, Adam? Oh, you're playing Erica. Ooh. Away from being a quickie. And I'll be... Can't read that. Really, really pretty cave. Holy shit. I'd be terrified to get stuck down here. You know, just fall randomly and then bam. But really pretty cave. Okay, some more water. Some ground water there. Can I make it? Can I make it? Can I make it? How do we know if that's that deep? So we're exploring the hermit one. No, okay. Was I meant to do that or could I? No, I think I just slid. Okay, so I'm underwater. Is it a street? Ah, this is a car crash into it. That's an interesting way to develop the story. So I went from there. There'll be another hole, there'll be another hole. Okay. We're safe. And that's Esther. The human Esther, or Esther. Still inside the cave. Okay. There we go. We're outside now.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
Jesus, this guy's getting angry now. I'll get down there and then I'll cut the screen. Yeah. So that's it, peeps. Continue next time, I suppose.